Hello, my name is Matthew Gutierrez, and I'm performing a project on private placement offerings, private placement memorandums, due diligence, and term sheets. So private placement offerings, in the sum, are an alternative to an IPO if a company either does not want to go IPO, which that could be for many reasons. One, they may not be able to prepare well enough for it, but they still need funds, which is why they stay remain private. Two, maybe it's more beneficial for the company to remain private for the stage that they're in and maybe eventually become IPO. Three, maybe the owners of the business want to remain in more control and not let just anybody invest in the company. So part of this starts with the private placement memorandum. The memorandum is a legal contract or legal document that states all the financials, all the supposedly unknowns to the other company. Since they are private, this is not public information. So it's pretty much disclosing everything that is private to the issuer. So the issuer discloses all this information, and if they do not properly dispose of all the information that they do know at the time, then there can be some major legal aspects taking it down the road. So this is to determine the amount of risk that's involved, so that the investor can see how much risk they're really getting into, so they can make a sound judgment, a fair judgment, a legal judgment. So after the private placement memorandum is reviewed, it kind of draws their attention in. They'll take a look at a term sheet. So when they take a look at the term sheet, they draw up a rough draft of a contract. It's non-binding. This is just so they can sign to see where they stand, see if all the regulations are met, kind of if everything's legal. Even though this is unrestricted, they do have certain regulations that are under the SEC. Some of those are under the Regulation D, like Rules 504, 505, and 506. 504 is generally just a base for these laws and allows the companies to let anybody and pretty much everybody invest, but it's of their choosing, and that's up to $1 million. If they want to raise more than $1 million, up to $5 million, they can only allow up to accredited investors to invest. And then if they want to gather from other people, they have to go with Rule 506, and they can allow more people invest, but everybody has to have superior financial knowledge of what's going on at hand. So that's what kind of goes back to the term sheet. With the financial knowledge, you take that, you generate the term sheet, see what's reasonable for the price per share, how much they want to sell, what's in it for you, what kind of return you want, any collateral, how long will you be tied with the company if things were to go south, and then this is when they refer back to the due diligence. So when creating this term sheet, you don't want to sign anything until you do your due diligence. This is when the company will take their own look. Usually this is more willingly, voluntarily. It's not necessarily legal. You don't legally have to do this all the time, but you do have to perform it, or else in the future there can be other issues or surprises. Due diligence is pretty much reviewing all their financials, making sure everything that they said is sound, making sure that there's no loopholes that they found that you didn't find, making sure that everything they said is true. It's basically performing an audit in multiple fields, multiple scenarios, just to see how profitable they are and determining the value of their company yourself, and not just going based off what they say the value of the company is. After you perform your due diligence, you have your term sheet drawn up, you know where the company stands, you guys have reached an agreement, you write up a final contract or agreement, and that's when you finalize everything, you sign it, and then you begin your investment. Thank you.